The new docuseries Quiet on Set sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Today, we're shining a spotlight on Nickelodeon, the iconic TV network that shaped many childhoods and propelled stars like Ariana Grande, Amanda Bynes, and Drake Bell to fame. Turns out, behind a colorful facade, it was a real house of horrors for our favorite child actors. Who are the criminals, and how does the story involve Leonardo DiCaprio? Stay with us and find out. One of the most shocking and sinister revelations in the Quiet on Set docuseries came from Drake Bell.
My name is Drake Bell, and I came here today to tell my story.
Have you ever told your story publicly before?
I have never told my story publicly.
It was the first time that Drake and Josh Starr publicly spoke about his experience of abuse from Brian Peck, a Nickelodeon dialogue coach. Drake's father was among the first people who noticed a weird dynamic between his son and Brian Peck.
You hear scuttlebutt about the business and what you got to watch your kids and this and that, so I was very attentive.
But the father's attempts to voice his concerns about Peck's presence around his son were met with isolation and dismissal on set, leaving him powerless to protect Drake.
Then he'd maybe walk over to Drake and be feeding him some lines or whatever and put his arm around his waist, put his hand up on his shoulder and kind of run it down his arm and things like that. And this would happen routinely.
Peck first offered to drive Bell to his auditions since his mother didn't like to drive. With multiple auditions lined up, Peck proposed that Bell stay over at his house a few days in a row.
I remember at the time, I think it was about like 2.5 years in, everyone went to Brian's house for a barbecue, and his house was a little off.
Peck's impunity and control over the situation led to the unimaginable. One day, when Drake Bell was 15, he said, he woke up on a couch and was being sexually assaulted by Peck.
Why don't you think of the worst stuff that someone can do to somebody as a sexual assault? And that'll answer your question.
Drake said that the abuse continued until he told everything to his mother. But that was not the end of Drake's nightmare, as he had to get a confession from Brian Peck over the phone so that the police had enough evidence to prosecute Brian.
But Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, "Dan, I'm not good with words like you are. And would you help me with my speech for the judge?"
On the day of sentencing for Brian, I get to the courthouse, it was the most unbelievable thing I'd ever seen. His entire side of the courtroom was full. And my side was me, my mom, and my brother.
Although Brian Peck seemed all friendly on the surface, there were some red flags about him that went under the radar.
Look, there's Brian Peck, aka Pickle Boy.
For example, he played Pickle Boy on several Nickelodeon shows in skits that some viewed as having sexual undertones.
Pickle Boy. His pickles taste bad. Pickle Boy likes to hurt and tease pickles.
As it turns out, Brian also had a close relationship with teenage Leonardo DiCaprio. In a recently resurfaced video from the set of Growing Pains, then 31-year-old Peck is being touchy with then 17-year-old DiCaprio while commenting on DiCaprio's attractiveness.
Brian is the famous artist, and we always make fun of each other and portray each other in silly, satirical ways.
Leo's job on this set, for some reason, is to make fun of me all day long.
As the disgustingly dark truth about Peck's actions sends shivers down our spines, one can't help but wonder, did his heinous crimes extend beyond those we know of? But the shock doesn't end there. After serving his sentence, Peck managed to slip back into Hollywood's embrace, landing a role at Disney Channel. His continued presence in the industry up to 2018 raises serious questions about accountability and the safety of child actors in show business. Buckle up, because the drama doesn't stop there. We're about to shine a light on the scandals surrounding one of Nickelodeon's most influential figures, Dan Schneider, whose fall from grace has rocked the entertainment industry.
Today my special guest is the executive producer of The Amanda Show, Dan, we love you. Thank you so much, dude.
Thank you, Nickelodeon. Thank you, Dan Schneider.
It's hard to put into words what Dan has done for all of us.
I want to thank Nickelodeon and Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider is the person who wrote and produced some of the most famous kids' TV shows broadcast on Nickelodeon, like Zoey 101, iCarly, Drake and Josh, Victorious, The Amanda Show, All That, and many others. Schneider has long faced criticism for including sexually suggestive jokes in his kids' shows and creating a toxic work environment. However, the new docuseries Quiet on Set exposed a much darker truth about the producer. The list of allegations against Schneider includes humiliation of female colleagues, favoritism, showing adult movies to the staff, playing degrading pranks on employees, requesting massages from staffers on set, and inappropriate behavior with child actors.
Working for Dan was like being in an abusive relationship.
Numerous scenes in Schneider's shows were laden with adult humor and innuendos. Take a look at some of them.
Hey, are you in college yet?
Bye! I'd like you to have these 2 large coconuts.
Wonderful. You know, their milk gives me visions.
I've heard.
Very good.
All these jokes that you're speaking of, that the show covered over the past 2 nights, every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny and only funny.
Disturbing footage of teenage Ariana Grande being sexualized on Nickelodeon also became a hot topic of discussion amid the drama.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato. Come on, give up the juice.
Kyle Sullivan from All That recalled inappropriate sketches in which an actor was lying in a bathtub with earthworms, or in which a dog licked peanut butter off a child actor's body. Although many parents didn't notice weird behavior on set, blinded by their children's rise to stardom, there were those who sensed the lurking danger behind the scenes.
Ah, yeah. That's the stuff. Rub it around.
I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation.
Delve deeper into the shadows as we uncover Dan Schneider's eerie obsession with Amanda Bynes, whom he scouted for All That at the tender age of 10. Schneider's fixation on Bynes took a disturbing turn when he created The Amanda Show specifically for her. As a centerpiece of the show, among other unsettling things, preteen Amanda had to sit in a bathing suit in a jacuzzi and do hot tub interviews with adults, usually grown men. Additionally, a former editor on All That alleged that the relationship between Schneider and Bynes crossed the lines of professionalism. She recounted instances when she saw Bynes massaging Schneider's shoulders, or both were touchy. At the age of 16, Amanda went as far as to seek to live with Schneider and his wife Lisa Lillian in an attempt to emancipate her from her parents. As many remember, in 2013, Bynes spiraled into a mental breakdown and addiction and ended up under conservatorship. Now many are wondering, were these tragic events shaped by the shadow of her dark childhood experiences? In the light of new investigations fueled by Quiet on Set, sinister tweets from allegedly Amanda's secret Twitter account surfaced. Bynes was posting under the name Ashley Banks, and to confirm her identity, posted a picture of her driver's license. What was revealed on this account left many in disbelief and sorrow.
Can you imagine having an abortion at 13 because your boss impregnated you, committed because your father touched you? I've been forced to deny this account again to prevent them from having me committed against my will again.
Now many regret disregarding Amanda's cry for help. Could this girl's health and innocence be saved if the public and her parents sounded the alarm? What further harrowing truths will emerge as the narrative unfolds? Only time will tell.